Now, the South African Cane Growers Association is calling on Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana to scrap the sugar tax. Godongwana is delivering his medium-term budget policy statement this afternoon. The sugar tax was introduced in 2018 with the goal to reduce obesity in the country. But the organization says given the lack of evidence for the effectiveness of the tax, it should be cancelled. SA Cane Growers Association CEO Thomas Funke joins me now. Thomas, very good morning to you. Thank you so much for your time. Let's try and make sense of the impact of the sugar tax since its implementation in 2018. How has it affected the industry?
Yes, good morning. We've followed the sugar tax and its impact throughout our sector. I can speak for the cane farming sector. We've lost over 9,000 jobs because of the implementation of the HPL, or the so-called sugar tax. And without the evidence that it's actually worked, we're calling on the Minister of Finance to scrap it. We've been asking for a study that actually proves that the HPL has reduced obesity levels in South Africa. And quite recently, there was a survey done, a national survey, that showed that half of South Africans actually gained weight during the last year. And that's with the HPL in place. We don't claim to be experts in obesity or health matters, but we are experts in the agricultural sector, and we've seen the devastating impact that it's had on farmers and farm workers who've lost their livelihoods and their jobs. And that's something that South Africa can hardly afford at a 40% unemployment rate.
You speak to half South Africans actually gaining weight in the midst of this implementation since 2018. What are you now suggesting when it comes to the very important fact of the matter is that sugar has had some sort of effect on diseases like sugar diabetes, like high blood pressure and so forth. Sugar has played a role. What are you now suggesting when it comes to the health of South Africans, irrespective of this sugar tax and what you're calling on from the minister?
So again, we're experts in agriculture, and we see what policies do to farmers and farm workers. And our call is to scrap policies that don't work. Unemployment is massive in South Africa, and we really want to avoid more job losses in the cane farming sector. That's KZN and Mpumalanga, where farm workers and farmers don't really have alternatives. So we're calling on government to have a facts-based approach to all of these aspects. I know many are saying that it has worked, but there's a lobby out there that's anti-agriculture and we believe anti-cane. And they need to prove their points, and we want government to also have an independent study that actually shows that. Quite recently, NEDLAG brought out a study that highlighted the impact of the HPL. And they didn't just highlight the 9,000 odd jobs, which interestingly coincides with our number. They also looked at other downstream jobs, and their total number was 16,621 jobs that got lost because of the HPL. And we're saying a doubling of the tax, for example, will just lead to more job losses.
The 17th of November marks the one-year anniversary of the sugar industry value chain master plan. The plan, to my understanding, was aimed at tackling some of the major challenges your industry faces. How much progress has been made in this year with this master plan being put in place?
Yeah, that's 100% correct. The master plan, Minister Patel and Minister Didiza have done a great job in getting it going. The task teams are working very hard to try and make something of it, and not just to have it a document that's floating around. So SA Cane Growers is 100% committed to making it work and trying to come up with alternative solutions. But unfortunately, a lot of these solutions take time. They take years. For example, to get into an ethanol industry or a sustainable aviation fuels industry, which we are pushing hard for. But in the interim, we can't afford the sector to lose more jobs and to be destroyed while we wait and work for these other alternative solutions.
Very well. Let's leave it there for now. Thomas Funke, CEO of SA Cane Growers, speaking ahead of the midterm budget policy, saying that the sugar tax needs to be scrapped because thousands of jobs have been lost since its implementation in 2018.